So we need to talk about The Flash. Again, this is leading up to the movie that I really want to talk about. But first, I want to talk about my favorite iterations of Flashpoint, which is what they're going to be basing the film off of. And my second favorite out of the three that I've seen and read and so on is the Flashpoint comic, which I recently got to read just recently. I know I should have read it sooner, but not much. I'm trying to get into comics because again, I have comics and I just haven't had a chance to read them. Just because adult life, yay. And so again, from what I've seen, from what I read on Flashpoint, I like it because again, the one of the other problems with the Flash TV show when they did Flashpoint was that they really didn't have a lot that they could use from the comic because again the comic had the Justice League, the Rogues, and again just a bunch of other elements that weren't introduced into the TV show yet because it was still on its third season, and the only other superhero it had to point to work with was Arrow, and sure they could have done a Flashpoint and had maybe Oliver Queen be the bad guy, and maybe what if he never landed on Lian Yu? What if he was the bad guy? But again, they didn't have much to work with, so for what they were able to do, I give them that much. But back to the comic. And again, the comic I really liked. I liked how, again, it shows us, like, it gives us a little understanding of who the Flash is before throwing us in here. It makes us understand that, again, he started off with a rough beginning, his mother being killed, but then he was able to build it all up. But in the end, he still needed to see his mother again. He still needed to know that he could save her. Because again, the whole point of Flashpoint, in my opinion, is being fast enough, but also being able to make the choice of that no one else can make. I'll go deeper into that when I talk about the movie, but back to the comic. Again, the comic I really liked. I liked how it introduces us to thrusting Barry right into Flashpoint. Again, I would have liked it if maybe it spent like maybe an issue or two talking about him being in Flashpoint instead of him just waking up in the new timeline. And I liked how it introduces us to different alternatives of the heroes we know. Like again, we got Aquaman versus Wonder Woman, and we get an understanding of why that is. But more importantly, we get to see what would have happened if it had been Bruce Wayne that was killed instead of Thomas and Martha Wayne. And I feel like that was really interesting. And again, we get this whole thing about Barry waking up, not knowing what happened, and thinking someone's behind this, and to him, only reasonable person that it could be is the Reverse Flash. And he even leaves, again, he opens his ring, and it's the Reverse Flash costume inside instead of his. And then again, he wakes up and he has no powers. The TV show, he had powers, and again, that was okay, but again, it would have been better to focus on maybe what if he did Flashpoint, and again, because he did Flashpoint, he wouldn't have the powers. Because he saved his mom, so there was no reason for him to become the Flash. And that's what this comic does. Because you understand that him saving his mother leads to him not becoming the Flash, which leads to him not having powers, but he gains them again, and again, the way he gains them is recreating the accident, and I like how it fails the first time, but it also helps jolt more of the memories for the timeline he's in now, for the Flashpoint timeline. and how he's gaining memories, but they're also conflicting with the one he already has. And it's to the point where he knows it's dangerous, but he knows he needs to do it again. He knows he needs to try and get his powers back. And he does. And again, I just think that's a brilliant way to do it, is that he has no powers, and he has to make the choice to get them back. But again, throughout the whole comic, we see that his main goal is to reverse whatever the Reverse Flash did and set everything right. And then you bring Bruce back, like, give Thomas, because even Thomas wants that timeline back because he would rather him die than his son, and that he wants his son to live. So again, nice touch. And then we get to the big reveal after they go across the border and start fighting the Amazonians and the Atlanteans. And we see Reverse Flash, and we get the reveal that it wasn't the Reverse Flash that did Flashpoint. It was the Flash. Because he felt just so much grief over having lost his mom that he couldn't take it anymore. And again, he wasn't fast enough when she was killed, but now he is, so he's able to go back and save her. And again, he doesn't believe it at first, but once the Reverse Flash jogs his memory, he understands. And again, just a neat little twist. If you haven't seen the TV show or seen the movie, and this is your first time and you get that reveal, I like that too. That again, in the TV show, we know Barry knows and the audience knows that he did Flashpoint, but in the comic, it's a mystery to, was it the Reverse Flash or was it someone else? And for us to see that it was Barry, that just puts everything, like, the stakes are higher now because Barry knows that if he fails, he failed because he couldn't do it and because he's the cause of it. And then one of the things I really liked, just wrapping this up, is how when he knows he needs to reset the timeline, he doesn't know if he should, but Thomas tells him to go ahead and do it because he's the only one that can set things right at this point. And the nicest thing I hope that they bring into the movie is that before he resets the timeline, he goes back to visit his mom one more time. And they did that in the TV show too, but in the TV show they just did it like really weird and cringy. But here, he tells his mom, "I'm the Flash, I'm a superhero, you were dead, and I made the choice to go and bring you back." And his mom asked him how many people died for that. He tells her millions, and she's like, "I would rather millions of people live than me." So she accepts that she has to die for everyone else to live. And I think that that's really sweet that they get that heart-to-heart, but also heartbreaking because they both know what has to happen for everything to be set right. And I just hope that that's something that they bring into the movie. But again, the Flashpoint comic, really liked. And again, we'll get into my favorite in the next video, but for now, this is my second. Maybe if I read the comic before I saw the animated movie, this would be my first, but I saw the animated movie first before I even read the comic or saw the Flash TV episode about Flashpoint. So again, this is just my own opinion about it, and just let me know what you guys think. Do you think it could have been better, or do you think it's good as it is? But again, I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. And if I got any details wrong or missed out on anything, please let me know in the comments below. But again, this has been just my personal opinion, and just let me know what you guys think. Like, what's your favorite iteration of the Flashpoint before the movie comes out? What's your thing you're most excited to see taken from the comic or from the TV show and put into the movie? Let me know. Bye.